Hey, how's it going everyone? Hope you all are having a great week. It's Ernest from TripAstute. Make sure you're sitting down before you start this video, since today we're going over a controversial and heated topic. I'll be comparing Chase Ultimate Rewards to American Express membership rewards and sharing which one I think is better. The two biggest players in the points and miles game are Chase and American Express. I know Citi is also in the game with their Thank You Rewards program, but for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to compare the Chase Ultimate Rewards program to the American Express Membership Rewards program. I know this question comes up a lot during my credit card consultations. A lot of people want to know whether I think Chase is better than American Express and whether they should wait until they're under 524 to pursue more Chase cards or build out their American Express cards. So today, I'm gonna share my personal opinion on both programs. Obviously, it's just my opinion and you might feel completely different about it. But for those of you who are new to the points and miles hobby, or even new to one of these rewards programs, I'm hoping my analysis is helpful. And if you're an experienced points and miles nerd, I would love to hear your thoughts on which program you prefer and why. Before we get started, if you're new here, welcome to our channel. TripAstute is a travel channel that is focused on sharing ways to make travel easier, affordable, and more enjoyable. Traveling can be stressful and expensive, so we're looking for ways to help you maximize your experience through travel tips, points and miles, and innovative gear. If that sounds interesting to you, please consider subscribing. To be fair, I want to compare both programs in a couple of different categories and share the pros and cons of each. I'll be looking at points earnings, point redemptions, benefits, acceptance, customer service, downgrade options, and approval and welcome offer rules. So let's jump in. For points earnings, it's a bit of a mixed bag. Both Chase and American Express have multiple personal and business credit cards that earn in different rewards categories. However, I will say that Chase lacks a card that offers a bonus category in groceries, which is often a big spending category for people. Chase does have the Freedom Card, which usually has at least one quarter where you can earn 5 points per dollar on grocery spending. However, I do wish that Chase would add a grocery category to one of their cards, as I think it's an area where American Express has the upper hand. On the flip side, I dislike how American Express has more restrictive bonus categories. For example, while the American Express Gold Card earns 4 points per dollar on dining out and groceries, it's only valid for US merchants, while the Chase Sapphire Preferred and Reserve earn bonus points on dining out even when outside the US. Also, since travel is a bonus category for the Chase Sapphire cards too, you don't have to think twice about earning a bonus at a hotel restaurant, since it might code as a hotel instead of an actual restaurant. In summary, both have fairly equal earning potentials, especially if you get multiple cards that offer different bonus categories. However, Chase is definitely lacking when it comes to grocery purchases. And while I like American Express's bonus categories, I do find them to be a bit more restrictive, so for me, it's a tie for both programs. Moving on to point redemptions, I personally find Chase Ultimate Reward points to be a lot easier to redeem. Chase might not have as many airline travel partners as American Express, but they seem to have the ones that I personally use the most, like Southwest and United. Also, we often use points toward Hyatt and have been able to get some amazing redemptions, even at some of Hyatt's more budget hotels. I also like that I can use the Chase Travel Portal to redeem points. It might not be the highest redemption value, but getting 1.25 or 1.5 cents per point isn't horrible either. Plus, it gives me the opportunity to redeem for boutique hotels or even tours, which I think is very handy. In fact, check out our video on how and when to use the Chase Travel Portal for more information. I do have friends that absolutely love and prefer American Express points. A friend of mine loves to fly ANA to Japan, and she finds the point transfers to be very lucrative, especially for business class travel. It's definitely possible to get a lot of value from American Express points, but I think you're mostly limited to air travel redemptions. And I'd even argue that the best value redemptions are for business and first class travel, which may or may not be your style. I know personally that while I love the idea of luxury, aspirational travel, I personally would rather be able to travel further and more often with my points, which means that I'm more inclined to fly on budget airlines or economy. Again, this is going to be a very personal choice and will really depend on your travel style, destinations, and personal spending. American Express does offer bonuses at times on their points transfers, which is something I wish Chase would offer. However, while I love this aspect of membership rewards points, I dislike that they charge a fee to transfer points to domestic travel partners. Also, redeeming points on the American Express Travel Portal yields you a much lower redemption rate, so I don't recommend using it unless you're determined to use your points at whatever value you can get. Lastly, for the sake of simplicity, I'm not going to cover American Express versus Chase cashback redemptions. I know there are American Express cards that can help you get a higher cashback redemption rate, but that's a whole nother topic and video. So in summary, Chase has more flexible redemption types and options with hotel and travel portal bookings, though they lack additional bonuses and have less airline travel partners to choose from. American Express, on the other hand, has more travel partners and offers bonuses certain times of the year on transfers, but also charges a fee to transfer points to domestic carriers. I personally prefer Chase points, so I'm going to give this category to them. But again, your travel preferences and style will dictate which program is a better fit for you. Next up are benefits. This is also a mixed bag. Both Chase and American Express offer benefits on their cards. I think you'll find that American Express does offer credits on more of their cards, though the catch is that they tend to be a bit more restrictive. For example, the Gold and Platinum card both have an airline incidental fee credit, but you can't use it toward paying for flights. I know you can buy gift cards, but even that is kind of a workaround solution since it's not officially supported by American Express. Also, American Express often requires you to redeem your credits over the span of a year. For example, the dining credit on the Gold card is $120, but you can only redeem $10 per month at select restaurants and ordering services. You won't find as many credits on Chase's cards. However, if we look at the Chase Sapphire Reserve, it has a $300 annual travel credit, which you can basically redeem all at once. Plus, since Chase is fairly liberal with what they qualify as travel, it's so easy to redeem the credit. In fact, I often tell people that though the Chase Sapphire Reserve's annual fee is $450, it's really more like $150 since it's so easy to get the travel credit. Even for me, I often see parking expenses get credited on my account, which is unfortunately a common expense for me since we live in LA. If we compare lounge access, the American Express definitely wins since their Platinum card offers access to Centurion lounges. Both Chase and American Express do have concierge services, though I have to admit that I've never used it. Also, when looking at things like primary car rental insurance and trip delays, the Chase Sapphire cards offer a lot more protection as part of their membership. On the other hand, purchase protection is more seamless on American Express cards since you file a claim with American Express and not a third party. This is not the case with Chase. I'm not saying that it doesn't work, but my experience is that it's often easier when it's processed by the same company as the card issuer. American Express card members also get free membership to ShopRunner, which is like Amazon Prime for other retailers. Also, I really like the way that American Express does their offers. All you have to do is activate the offer rather than going through a portal. This means that you can potentially double up on rewards by using a cashback portal or a discount coupon with your purchase. I know that Chase recently started to do offers as well, but I think that American Express is still way ahead in this regard. In summary, American Express offers credits on more of their cards, though they are more restrictive to redeem. American Express also tends to have better lounge access, concierge service, and purchase protection. They also have an incredible offers program as part of their membership. However, Chase has much easier to redeem credits and better car rental and trip delay coverages. It's a bit of a toss-up since they both offer significant value, though in different ways. But if you're someone who can maximize the benefits of your American Express cards, there's probably more there to take advantage of. Even with higher annual fees on their cards, there's a lot of benefits included. So I'm giving this category to American Express. Next up is acceptance. This one is pretty simple. You're going to have more acceptance with a Visa or MasterCard over American Express. It's not much of an issue here in the US, but when traveling abroad, it can be difficult to find places that will accept American Express cards. So Chase takes this category. In terms of customer service, I've had great experiences with both the service reps from Chase and American Express. Though I would probably give the edge to American Express, mostly because they have a fantastic chat functionality on their website. I've asked the reps to downgrade cards over chat, and they've been able to do it without any problems. Speaking of downgrade options, this is an area where Chase definitely has the advantage. If you have the Chase Sapphire Reserve or Preferred card, you can always downgrade your card to a Freedom, Freedom Unlimited, or even a basic Sapphire, which isn't even listed on the Chase website. American Express, on the other hand, is a bit more complicated. If you have an American Express Platinum or Gold card and you want to downgrade, your only option is a Green card, which still has an annual fee. You can't downgrade to an everyday card, even though it also earns membership rewards points, since the everyday card is a credit card and the Platinum, Gold, and Green card are charge cards. This presents some issues for those of you that don't want to cancel cards, since it can temporarily hurt your credit score. So in this category, I have to say that Chase definitely has the advantage. While American Express does have a lot of cards, including a mix of charge and credit cards, it isn't easy to downgrade their charge cards since there isn't a no annual fee charge card in their lineup. Lastly, approval and welcome offer rules. Chase is notorious for some of their strict approval rules like 524 and 230. If you're not familiar with them, see our videos on the topic. However, these rules usually result in people wanting to build their Chase portfolio before American Express. I recommend that strategy as well, since you can essentially disqualify yourself from getting Chase cards if you get too many other cards within a 24-month period. Also, a lot of people will go the small business card route in order to get around the 524 rule. Basically, you need to be below 524 to get a business credit card, but once you get one, it doesn't count against your 524 total. If you qualify for a business card, it's definitely a great way to go. Business cards provide some of the best welcome offers and bonus categories. If you're interested in small business credit cards or want to understand whether you qualify, check out our video on the topic. American Express has few restrictions when it comes to getting approvals. However, they do have a once-in-a-lifetime rule for their welcome offers. For example, if you had the American Express Platinum card in the past and received the welcome offer, but then canceled or downgraded the card, you won't be able to get the welcome offer again if you apply for the card. So in this category, I have to give the upper hand to American Express. Though if you do have any interest in building a Chase credit card portfolio, then you should start with them since their cards are much more difficult to get due to these rules. When we tally up the points, you can see that it's tied, which is what I expected. Both programs offer a lot of value, especially if you're able to take advantage of the benefits. Though if I could only earn one points program, I would say that I prefer Chase Ultimate Reward points. That shouldn't be a surprise to those of you who've been watching this channel for a while. I just find that the program seems to meet my travel needs, and I feel like I'm able to get a lot of value from the points. And I don't think I'm the only one that feels this way either. When I asked the question on my community tab a few months ago, I noticed that about 60% of you felt the same way. That being said, I still think it's a good idea to diversify and build multiple points programs. Things change all the time in this hobby, and I wouldn't be surprised if I'm focused on another program within the next 3 years. Though I kind of hope not, especially since I love my collection of Chase Ultimate Rewards earning cards. I was going to say six-fecta, but I'm pretty sure that's not the right terminology. In fact, if you know what the equivalent of trifecta is for 6 cards, let me know. Which flexible points program do you prefer? Do you earn multiple currencies or do you focus on just one? Let me know in the comment section below. If you're interested in applying for a new credit card, we would love it if you use our link in the video description or on our website. It's an easy way to support our channel, especially if you found our content to be valuable and helpful. Also, if you need any help with determining what your next credit card should be, sign up for our free card consultation service. You basically fill out a questionnaire and schedule a 15-minute video or audio call with me to review your recommendations. Hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. Please give us a thumbs up and consider sharing the video with others. It really helps us with growing our channel and community. Until next time, travel safe and travel smart.